This episode of On the Record is brought to you by Associated Equipment Distributors.
Hello, Noah Newman, Technology Editor here in Cottage Grove, Minnesota. We're here at the grand opening of the Horsch Ag Tech facility. Some brand new equipment being showcased behind me. And welcome to On the Record.
Ag Equipment Intelligence's latest dealer sentiments and business conditions survey shows dealers are forecasting 2025 sales to be down 12% year over year, unchanged from the month before. In the latest survey, a net 37% of dealers are forecasting sales declines this year, an improvement from 38% and 44% the previous 2 months. Generally speaking, dealers are less pessimistic in their outlook for sales declines than the OEMs. Deere's forecasting North American large ag unit sales to be down 30% in 2025 and small ag unit sales to be down 10 to 15%. AGCO and CNH are both expecting 2025 large ag sales to be down in the range of 25 to 30%. One dealer in the Corn Belt commented that farmer sentiment remains depressed and customers are delaying having early order program conversations. Another dealer in the Mountain Pacific region said, "General uncertainty persists and tariffs are not helping. Farmers are concerned they will start to incur tariff surcharges on equipment and parts. We've started to see some tariff surcharges from shortline manufacturers as well as some parts." As of June 25th, corn prices were $4.10, down 28 cents from our last episode. Soybeans closed at $10.25, down 25 cents, and wheat closed at $5.28, down 6 cents. Now here's Noah Newman with the latest from the Technology Corner.
Thank you very much, Kim. Dealers and farmers from all over gathered in Cottage Grove, Minnesota last week for the grand opening of the new Horsch Ag Tech building. And this is being dubbed the new heart of Horsch in North America. Attendees got their first look at the latest additions of the Horsch equipment line, including a new leaf sprayer with advanced boom control, the largest air seeder cart on the market, a 90-foot planter with 350 bushel seed capacity, and more. We caught up with Lucas Horsch, CEO of Horsch North America, during the event. He tells us the goal with this new equipment is to increase productivity and overcome labor challenges.
In the ag industry, we are lacking more and more people. Not because we don't have people, but we don't have the right people sometimes in the locations where we are. And in the end, today, the theme what we talked about is basically the productivity side. We are now moving into the 90-foot planter market, and we are moving now into the big air seeder market with up to 900 bushel tanks and so on. I think that's very important pieces to this story. And on the other side, we are driving our sprayer business forward. And I think, when it comes into resistances, weed resistances and so on, I think, we need to work more on our quality of application. And quality of application, there are two pieces to it. I think one is maybe to slow down our operations sometimes, maybe go to a wider boom, and to raise our volume per acre to basically have a better coverage. I'm not disagreeing that you can go with low volumes and you can have the right tip to have this low volume when the conditions are right. But with all the climate what we have today, we don't have always the perfect conditions. Sometimes you have a windy day. Sometimes you have a too dry of an air that the fine droplets are drying up too quickly.
And their goal is to double the Horsch U.S. dealer footprint within the next 3 years. In the Technology Corner, I'm Noah Newman. Back to you, Kim.
Thanks, Noah. Irrigation equipment manufacturer Lindsay reported its third quarter financial results on June 26th. The company's total revenues for the quarter ended May 31st were up 22% to $169.5 million. Randy Wood, president and CEO of Lindsay, had this to say on the quarterly results. Continued strength in our international irrigation business, supported by ongoing project revenues in the MENA region, led to strong irrigation revenue growth for the quarter and a 22% increase in our overall revenues compared to last year. North American irrigation revenues were up slightly in the quarter, demonstrating resilience despite increased market uncertainty related to tariffs and potential disruption of U.S. grain exports. In Brazil, our sales volume improved compared to the prior year as market conditions continue to show incremental signs of improvement. Infrastructure revenues were also higher than the prior year as we enter road construction season in North America. Irrigation revenues were up 25% to $143.7 million. However, North American irrigation sales were only up 1% for the quarter to $69.1 million. Inventory levels of U.S. used tractors 100 horsepower and greater declined 2.5% month-over-month and 0.66% year-over-year in May, following a downward trend according to Sandhills Global's May market reports. The used 100 to 174 horsepower tractor category had the largest impact on this market, with inventory falling 4.8% versus the previous month and 9.59% year-over-year. Asking values declined as well, down 1.88% month-over-month and 6.41% year-over-year, and are trending downward. The used high horsepower tractor category, tractors with 300 horsepower and greater, showed both the largest month-over-month asking value decrease at down 2.94% and the largest year-over-year decrease at down 6.63%. Despite auction values falling 2.09% month-over-month and 4.1% year-over-year in May, they are on a sideways trend. Sandhills observed the largest month-over-month decrease in used high horsepower tractor category, down 3.21%. And the most significant year-over-year decrease in the used 175 to 299 horsepower tractor category at down 3.84%. The EVI spread, which measures the percentage difference between asking and auction values, maintained at 38%, still slightly lower than the peak values observed in 2015. This week's DataPoint is brought to you by the Dealership Mind Summit, coming to Iowa City July 29th and 30th. To learn more and to register, visit dealershipmindsummit.com. According to data from USDA and Economic Research Services, commercial farms consistently account for the largest portion of debt held by U.S. farms despite representing the smallest share of farms by number. Commercial farms' high debt share reflects their reliance on financing for capital-intensive activities such as investments in equipment, land, and essential technologies. Since 1996, their share of all farm debt has increased from less than half of total sector debt to 69% in 2023. Meanwhile, debt shares for intermediate and residential farms have decreased. For residential farms, the share of debt initially rose from 18% of total sector debt in 1996 to a peak near 27% in 2003 before falling to 13% in 2023. Similarly, intermediate farms' debt shares gradually dropped from 36% in 1996 to 18% in 2023. Changes in average debt levels per farm reflect a shift in debt shares by farm type. Among commercial farms, average debt levels have nearly doubled since 1996, while average debt levels for intermediate and residential farms have remained relatively flat after adjusting for inflation. As always, you can send comments and story suggestions to me at kschmidt@lestermedia.com. Until next time, I'm Kim Schmidt. Thanks for joining us.